Welcome, guys, to day 10 of my 90-day transformation challenge. So we are officially 10 days down, and we have 80 more days to go. And honestly, I'm so excited because every single day I feel like I'm learning something new about myself. So this challenge is just not about the exercise, just waking up, skipping the rope, doing yoga and all that. For me, this journey is really about becoming the best version of myself. And today I want to talk about something that I think we often overlook when you're trying to transform our lives, and that is cutting things off. Yeah, because I have come to realization that transformation is just not about what we put into our lives, but also about what we remove. Not what we put into our lives, but also what we remove. So before I get into that, let me tell you about the whole workout session, what I did. I did my 1000 skips as usual, and I also did 20 minutes of yoga, and this consisted of 30 sun salutations only. Imagine, today I just decided to do sun salutations and it was wonderful. Okay, those are very few minutes. I spent like 30 minutes, so it wasn't a huge workout. But one thing I'm learning during this challenge is that I don't have to do something extreme every single day. And also, I'm still recovering. So I'm glad I showed up and for the 30 minutes. And yeah, just give my body a challenge despite not feeling so well, right? So now I think it's okay. Now I can talk about today's lesson. Like I've mentioned, cutting or letting things go. So I believe you cannot build strength on top of habits that constantly drain you. You cannot really build clarity on top of constant noise, and you cannot build discipline when continuing to feed the things that destroy your discipline. Sometimes you're trying so hard to add new habits. For example, you want to read more, exercise more, meditate, eat better, become more productive, become more confident because, we just want to become the best versions of ourselves. But just trying to think about it. What if the problem isn't that we need to add more? And yeah, like what if just the problem is that we need to remove something first? I don't know if you've ever thought about things this way, because I believe sometimes maybe our problem is just not lack of potential, but it could be the fact that we lack or we are unable to subtract some things in our lives. So think about that for a moment. You might have all the potential in the world. You might have amazing goals. You might have dreams that you've carried for years, honestly. But if your attention, energy, your time, your discipline are constantly being consumed by things that weaken you, then there's no space for growth there. And this is what I want us to talk about today. So, looking honestly at our life, not the life that you wish you would want to live, or the one that you see people posting online, but the real everyday life. What do you think is draining your energy? What is stealing your attention or weakening your discipline? What is creating mental noise in your life that is keeping you stuck? Could it be doom scrolling? You pick up your phone for 5 minutes and suddenly 1 hour is gone, or consuming too much news. It could also be constantly comparing yourself to other people, your sister, your cousins, your relatives, your friends, or maybe it is emotional clutter, or sometimes spending too much time thinking about things you cannot control. And we also have relationships that constantly leave you feel exhausted, yeah, from one time to the other. And our environments that also make it difficult for us to become the people that we want to be. Also, we do struggle with things like behaviors and patterns that we repeat over years. And sometimes it's simply too much comfort because we know comfort feels good and too much comfort can be a trap. So when everything in your life is designed to make you feel comfortable, you stop challenging yourself. And transformation, we all know, anything transformation requires a challenge. So sometimes you have to choose effort over ease. You have to do things that feel like, even things that you even don't feel like doing. So sometimes you have to say no, and other times you have to learn how to walk away. And, other times just growth requires distance. And I think that is one of the hardest parts of transformation, because adding something new can feel exciting, but removing something familiar, it can become very uncomfortable, especially when that thing has been part of your life for so many years. And that's true. Personally, I'm still struggling with quite a number of things, and I'm sure I'll get a hang of it, because intentionality is all that matters at the end of the day. So one thing that I'm becoming much more aware of is also our mental energy is limited. Honestly, we are limited. We only have so much attention, focus, emotional capacity in a day, and every time we give that energy to something unnecessary, we have less available for the things that actually matter. And this is so true. Imagine waking up in the morning with 100% mental energy, then you spend some of it scrolling, worrying, comparing yourself, arguing, consuming unnecessary information, or thinking about people who are draining you. So by the time you get to the things that are actually important to you, how much is left? Maybe around 30% or 20% of your energy. And, we sit down and wonder, why are we just not making progress? Uh, but the fact is that we do not need motivation. All we need is less noise. We also don't need another productivity system. We just need to remove distractions that honestly steal our attention, or anything that you don't need at all, or anything that is just draining you. So maybe we can challenge ourselves based on this, by writing down in three columns. Number one, what weakens your mind. Number two, what weakens your environment. And number three, what weakens your discipline. And under each column, it's good to write everything that comes into your mind. Be very honest with yourself. And after all this, you I would advise that you choose your top three drains, the things that are taking the most from you, and for the next 90 days, just focus on those ones. Okay? By cutting them off. Ensure that you cut those top three drains off. And I'm not saying you reduce them or negotiate around them. No, I'm saying you cut them off. Okay? And don't give excuses, just do it. Do it every single day for 90 good days. Because every time you remove something that weakens you, you create space. That is the magic. You're able to create safe space for something stronger to grow into you. And that is what we want: transformation, change, growth. Okay, so I think it's just evident. When you remove distraction, you create space. When you remove negativity, you also create space for peace, for focus, for discipline, for growth. You become stronger yourself. So please just let go of these trends for the next 30 days. It is very necessary for your growth. And sometimes, creating that space means saying, this is no longer belongs in my life. Just say, this and this and this, they do no longer belong to my life, and do away with them. Okay. So I think that is our exercise. I hope we are all going to take it seriously. And I really don't need to keep everything that has been part of my past. This is something that I'm reminding myself, and I also want you to think about it that way. It's okay to remove anything that weakens and create space for what you want to become. Yeah, so that is my thinking today, and that is what I thought I would want to share with you. Um, you know, the whole journey of transformation is seeking knowledge and being purposeful of the journey that you are taking. So I also invite you to this transformational journey, and please remember to subscribe to the channel and join me as you research your life as well for the next 90 days. And please just keep on showing up every single day. It's not easy, but it's possible. Transformation is, it's also not about becoming, but it's more of, becoming lighter. Yeah, so like I've said, it's not about becoming more, but becoming lighter. And I think that's it from me to you for today. Please remember to subscribe to this channel. Put on the notification bell so that you're notified tomorrow when I share another video for day 11. And I think for day 11 I want to really talk about focus. So see you tomorrow and have a great one. Bye bye.